He is going to be very, very difficult to stop. Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one. Paul Nicholson alongside me.
Yeah, Wadey's already in the wars. I noticed on the walk-on he had a bit of blood on his hand. We do work with very sharp implements. Sometimes you get a little nick or a cut, as long as you're on top of it. Looks like James is as well. Against Johnny Cash Clayton. I am starting the movement. Yes, the ferret's all right. I like Johnny Cash Clayton. And I'm not going to take credit for it. It did surface on social media last night, so someone can take credit for that. But I echo what you said, Dan. Performances so far for Johnny, fantastic. Let's see if he can keep it going.
First leg, James to throw first. Game on.
Well, James Wade came through his second round match yesterday against Frosty the Throwman Mark Frost, and it was just a James Wade performance. There's a lot of Wadey-esque wading going on. He managed to average one more point than his opponent and won it 6-4, but he did miss a lot of doubles. He was only down at 27% on his doubles, James Wade, and it's uncharacteristic of him. I spoke to Frosty afterwards, and he said he was just frustrated, was the word he used. He felt that he could have won that game 6-2 or 6-3. He ended up going down 6-4. He missed chances himself. But Wade was giving him opportunities, and Frosty was not able to take advantage of them. Now, if Johnny Clayton plays like he's done this weekend, you don't expect James Wade will be given those lifelines, because Johnny Clayton has won 6-1 against the host nation qualifier Gabriel Clemens, 6-1 against Jelle Klaassen, who has been superb on the European Tour this year, as Wade, slightly unfortunate to see that deflect out. And in those two games he's played this weekend, obviously he's only dropped 2 legs, he has only missed 3 darts at double, 12 out of 15 on his doubles. That is astonishing.
Well, this will be astonishing if James Wade can hit this. Treble 17, double 10 to start with a real rip snorter.
121.
Well, Johnny Clayton's good, but he's not 201 points and 3 darts good.
No. But he could be 177 to set it up good.
177. James, you require 10.
Just in case Wadey can't hit double 5. Should be able to hit it now. Lovely light. There it is. Perfectly laid up. And a nice steady 14 darter to start us off. Very much in the same fashion as Peter Wright in the last game, who started with a 14 dart leg.
Yeah, well, we've seen some
55.
Very impressive stuff already today. Gerwyn Price was excellent in knocking out Mensur Suljovic, who's in red-hot form. He's going to take on Michael van Gerwen, who did miss a number of doubles, didn't average that 100 mark that you've come to expect from him. Sammy, Mrs. Wade in the crowd there.
Is it Wade or is it Marsh Wade?
It might be Marsh Wade.
60.
I don't know.
Sammy.
I don't know.
Sammy will do. We know that's a name.
I know they've got a dog called Konnichiwa. They bought it in Japan and only just brought it back.
James has got a dog called
40.
Dave. And the other one's called Daisy.
Dave, Daisy, and Konnichiwa. There you go, that's the...
Who says it's just a
140.
multicultural people in the world? It's a multicultural dog culture going on in darts as well. Mark Webster calls his dog the chairman.
109.
Well, it is the machine who's just fired in the first maximum of this encounter, and James Wade
41.
looks to be
at
it today. Johnny Clayton not quite so much. Tops for Wade. Yeah, and that's an 11 darter to go with a 14 darter.
You just get the feeling sometimes on a Sunday afternoon what James is going to turn up. Last week he played pretty much like this at the same period on the Sunday, and it took an extraordinary performance to take him out by Suljovic in the semis last week.
55.
But make no mistake, James Wade has come to play it, because he's taken 2 legs out of 2, and he's inflicted leg defeats to the tune of what Johnny Clayton has had in the last 2 matches.
Yeah, we did see Wadey win his second Euro Tour title earlier on this year in Hamburg. Became just the 5th player to win more than 1 Euro Tour title. And on the final day, he saw off Gary Anderson in the last 16, beat him 6-2. Then he saw off Benito van der Pas 6-5. Then he beat Michael van Gerwen 6-2. And then he saw off Dave Chisnell 6-5. Now, in terms of a final day, winning 4 games on the spin, that is a tough tough set of matches for you to go and win. But
78.
that's what he's capable of.
I think when you're constantly in the mix of things like Premier League, Champions League, which we'll find out about next week, you just get used to playing the top guys all the time. It is tough. It's always going to be difficult when you're playing the likes of Chisnell, Van der Pas, Anderson and Van Gerwen, but you get used to it after a while, especially when you're playing your third week on the bounce. Admittedly, James is only playing his second week on the bounce, which actually might work in his favour. Same for Van Gerwen later, because they missed Risa.
Clayton doesn't even think about the treble. Bullseye. Well, he's missed a dart at double. He's missed it by quite a long way, actually, there.
34.
Will he come back to the board? He might not. Well, he will. And he's looking at 47. Now Johnny Clayton.
47.
One missed at the bull, but on the doubles, you've been excellent this weekend. Will that continue? It will, you know. He snuck it right in the corner, the double 16. He'll count.
They all count indeed. And he's fast becoming one of the best players in the world at double 16. Peter Wright once claimed that he was the best double 16 shooter in the world. It was a long time ago that I said that. Seems like a very long time ago. And
60.
Mervyn King is a legitimate claim to it. But Johnny Clayton, over the last 3 matches and over the last year or so, is definitely laying his stake on that one.
Well, I just think he seems to have something, Johnny Clayton. He's ranked just outside that magic 64 in the world rankings, where you want to be. But he's making
60.
progress. I mean, we saw him go and make his first semi-final on the Pro Tour just last month. That was in Barnsley. Going to be back there next week. 3 more Players' Championship events as Wade looks to fill this up for his second 180. He has to settle for the ton 40. But it had been coming, that semi-final. He'd made a quarter-final earlier in the year in Coventry in May. And he'd looked
60.
dangerous. It was... He's a very, very solid player, and perhaps that's damning him with faint praise, saying he's solid, because he seems to have a bit more than that. We've seen that with his finishing this weekend. Nobody's beaten Jelle Klaassen 6-1 at the minute without playing some really, really good darts. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And that's really good darts from Johnny Clayton to get back in this leg.
I think the only difference between these two in this game so far is just that Wadey has just been maybe 1 or 2 darts ahead in certain legs. And again, it just seems like one of those Wadey type performances. He's leaving the doubles that he likes. He's nowhere near the corner that Johnny Clayton likes. Does Johnny Clayton like double 12?
170.
Well, he didn't on that visit, but James Wade might. 2 12s. Still open. Yes, it is. A lovely bounce in off that first dart. Results in a 3-1. Result at the moment for James Wade.
Game on.
That was a great effort though from Johnny. You just think that if he'd have hit that, something would have just clicked.
It's always difficult. You know, the fact he had 1-4-1, it would have been an incredible shot from Johnny Clayton there. But having hit the treble 20 and the treble 19 and given himself a dart at the double 12, he'll now feel disappointed that he didn't get it. And then obviously Wade, again, typical Wade, he just puts that first dart. If you're going to miss, that's exactly where you want to miss. Follows it in. It's textbook stuff from James Wade, and it's a third breaker throw. It is 3-1, and Johnny Clayton's got a lot of work to do. Only dropped 2 legs all weekend prior to this match.
I was talking to Chris Murphy earlier in the year, our co-commentator from a week ago,
100.
about something called situational pressure. It's just reacting to something that you're in right now. It's something that Wadey has basically prided himself on for the last 10 years.
100.
If he's confronted with something, he will find a way to get through it. He's not thinking about what happened before or could potentially happen in the future.
60.
He's just good at finding that little bubble
42.
and being able to handle the situation that he's got right now. And at the moment, he's in control of this leg and he's looking very good for 4-1.
Yeah, he really is.
60.
The only time these two had met was actually in Hamburg when Wade went on to win the title, and it was in the second round stage. Johnny Clayton, again, he really tested James Wade. He lost 6-4 in the end.
Well, he talked about omens earlier with Price beating Suljovic. He beat Suljovic on the way to his first title.
Now then, Wade, double 7. And there it is. And this is very, very impressive from James Wade. You have to say that he wasn't impressive yesterday, and it is quite conceivable that Mark Frost could have got the win against him.
140.
But playing in this manner, James Wade, averaging 107, you've got to think, if he's turned up and is playing his good stuff, he's quite capable of doing this right the way through the day and potentially picking up a third Euro Tour title. Michael Smith, of course, has 3. Phil Taylor has 4. Michael van Gerwen has 17 million. But other than that, you know, there aren't many who've won more than 1. Kim Huybrechts has got a couple. And just some change of flights, it looks like, for James Wade there.
It just goes to show you don't have to rush here. If there is something that's gone wrong, a broken flight, broken stem, or sometimes even a broken point that happens once in a pink moon, but take your time. There is no clock. Don't be pressured into just, you know, changing one flight and just putting it on there without any due care.
40.
Well, how's your luck, James? You've just fixed that stem and you've ruined it with one shot. It does make you laugh sometimes. Admittedly,
100.
stems aren't very expensive, but it does just knock you a little bit and you throw one dart at it and you almost ruin it.
100.
Should have stuck with the other one.
Yeah, maybe he should have done. Well, Johnny Clayton up against it for the first time this
43.
weekend. Jelle Klaassen did not play poorly against him by any stretch of the imagination. It's just that Johnny averaged 102 and it's 6 out of 7 darts at double, and that will win you a lot of games.
60.
Do you think the change in temperature in the arena this today is going to make a difference? Because yesterday it was very hot and that does suit a lot of players. It is much cooler today.
140.
Certainly, Alan Norris said, after I just spoke to him earlier on, and he was saying, particularly here backstage where we're based in the commentary box, we've got the practice board
100.
here, and he was saying, I'll be honest, I came and had a bit of a practice on that board. It's so cold, certainly by comparison to yesterday, that it just threw me a little bit.
But
Johnny Clayton has taken out 78, and he's averaging in the high 90s himself. It's just that James Wade has been excellent.
And on his own throw as well. Johnny Clayton, another clean
60.
finish with no misses. If he's not careful, he's going to get some sort of nickname for that. Something like, I don't know, Cash.
100.
I'm sticking to the ferret.
All
I'm
right,
not-
fair enough.
Any named after animals, they're good nicknames. I like them. The cobra, the black cobra, the ferret. Yes.
140.
Well, we've already established 2 wins in a fight between a cobra and a ferret.
Well, there was only one winner yesterday, and that was the ferret.
Yeah, never underestimate a ferret.
81.
Wise words from Paul Nicholson here at the Happy Bet European Darts Grand Prix. Never underestimate a ferret.
Never thought I'd say that in my life.
Now, Wade. Yeah, that's another one. That's his third. And the thing is with Wade, you talked about that idea of situational pressure, where he seems to thrive when he's put under pressure, when he's
85.
given a problem to solve.
121.
And that's when he'll often find his best stuff. Sometimes, by the reverse of that, oh, look at this, double top. Ooh.
101.
But by the reverse of that, sometimes it's why you rarely see James Wade go and smash people up 6-0, 10-0, 12-0, because he just seems to lose interest if he's running away with games. He just takes his foot off the gas. He doesn't need to have that same level of intensity, and it can allow people back into the game. And that's double 10, and he's not been great on double 10 this weekend so far, but if he is starting to hit it, then he's going to be in a very strong position for potentially a challenge for this title this evening. But he can let people back into games, and very occasionally it can cause him to lose matches. A lot of the time, as Clayton fires in a 180, we've had 6 in this match, 3 apiece. A lot of the time when it does get close, that's when he turns it on again, but you can't turn it on and off like a tap all the time.
No. You're right, though, because sometimes in the face of losing, the face of fear, he just finds his best stuff. And I think secretly James Wade is a bit of an adrenaline junkie.
I genuinely think that's it. He said to me with pride but I've been involved in some of the biggest battles you've ever seen. I love a battle on dart.
100.
I don't really think he likes smashing people up that much. I think he likes being involved. I mean, he wants to win, obviously, but he'd rather win 6-4 than smash somebody up 6-0. I mean, unless they've,
140.
unless he had a fallout with them.
He likes to make it interesting, which, when you think about it, is actually really good for the fans because they get their money's worth from James Wade.
Well, you usually do with James Wade. He's usually an interesting watch. You're never quite sure what you're going to get. He's just usually slightly better than their opponent.
Yeah, he's not bad for the average bear, but he's slightly better than the average bear. But 80 scored, 77 left for Johnny here.
100.
That's all right. But you get the feeling that Wade is waiting to pounce in the next leg. Stick around in this one just in case.
59.
And then
Johnny requires 56.
if Johnny takes his 56, I'll just pound the next leg.
Well, that will be the plan for James Wade. Double 10 for Clayton. And there it is, and it's a 15 darter. It's more neat and tidy darts from these two. But this will be the leg, and the question is, can James Wade now just focus
58.
and produce a good leg? But he's opened the door here where Johnny Clayton, if he fires in a 12 darter, this game looks very, very different.
But fortunately enough for James, if it does go awry in this leg,
85.
then he will have the darts in the very last leg where we know he's pretty good.
Yeah, we do, and we mentioned that before. We mentioned it last weekend. But this is it. Here we go, James Wade. Yeah, there we go.
180.
Said it before, say it again. Don't let anybody tell you James Wade doesn't hit enough 180s to be a force in the modern game, because he does.
100.
He just hits them at the right times, like when he's throwing for the match at 5-3 up.
I think it's a conspiracy, because Wade has always been good at 180s. It just so happens that they've always been about 2 or 3 players who are slightly better, and they get all the press for being big scorers. Anderson, Chisnell, Van Gerwen are probably the top 3 in the world. I tell you who is sneaky good at 180s. That's Kim
96.
Heibrecht. He hit a lot of 180s in Dusseldorf, and I took notice. And over the last couple of weeks, he's done exactly the same.
But Wade has left 167.
100.
Clayton not down to a finish, so I'd imagine it'll be treble 20, and then he'll just try and set it up. Well, that would have been the plan, I would think.
Now, you'll have to leave a double that isn't double top or 10s.
97.
But it's probably 17 on purpose, because now he'll go 10, 20 tops or 10s.
Johnny Clayton's got to leave something, trying to apply some pressure. 60 is probably not
60.
enough, and that's what he's got. And
James
Wade is looking at
requires
70 for a
70.
6-3 win. And Johnny Clayton has been superb this weekend, but it's not quite been good enough against a very, very impressive James Wade, who looks at tops and hits it for another 15-dart leg. Neat, tidy, efficient stuff. But Wade has gone and put in a ton-plus average there, hitting more than half his darts at double. And James Wade, after not really impressing yesterday, has been very, very good this afternoon. He will go through to take on Peter Snakebite Wright in the quarterfinals this evening. We have got one more quarterfinal to set up, and this is a fascinating section of the draw. Benito van der Pas, the only seeded player, he will take on Joe Mernon in a few moments' time. And then the final match of the afternoon session sees James Wilson, who's made the semi-final in his last 3 ranking events, take on the 5-time world champion Raymond van Barneveld, who is on a mission to qualify for the European Championship, but has to make the final here to do so.
James, congratulations. Yesterday you said you will be better today, and that's what happened.
Yeah, as I say yesterday, Mark let me win. Today I won.
Yeah, and good statistics, 1 and 102 average, more than 60% checkout percentage. That's very good.
I got lucky.
No.
Johnny's been playing absolutely amazing, There's probably not so many people that know how well he can play and what he can do, There's a lot to come from this young man. He's only just started breaking through. I knew what game I had today, and I knew I had to play well.
There's a different match coming up in the quarters against Peter Wright, another guy out of the top 10.
Is that what I've got?
I think so. You don't know?
No.
Oh, come on.
No. I don't think any player looks, who they've got or what they've got. You just play what's in front of you, and Pete...
Coloured hair. Funny guy.
got that bit. No, Peter's going to have to play well, I'm going to have to play well. And hopefully it should be a good game for everyone in here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Thank you very much, James. James Wade.